Well, first of all, I want to thank you all for all the support that I've been getting these last days about the incident. I'm like absolutely overwhelmed and surprised. I really only intended to give some heads up to other pilots or other people that in the air world that would encounter this guy. Yeah, no words. Incredible. So since many of you were asking questions on the comments and like what happened to this guy and like what happened after, like, you know, like I've seen like many debates about safety and risks involved in this incident and stuff, I decided to tell you a little more details about the incident and then to talk about balloon safety and what this guy put on jeopardy by like literally just being a dick. All right, so I have been doing some research about these guys and like how the hell did this happen? Like how did we not see it, you know? Like try to think how could have we avoided this from happening in the first place, right? And as I was doing some investigation, it turns out that these guys tried to book the flight with their hotel by telling them they were going to jump, and the hotel denied their booking because it's not allowed. We're not allowed to do it yet. And so they decided to do it last minute with an agency in the morning and not telling the agency that they were going to jump. And they got their own transport, which also helped a lot for us not to detect it, to the flight. And they came like right last minute. So it was like everything a little bit of rush. Yeah, what happened afterwards is what you can see on the first video, right? All the flight and the incident. And what happened after is that, once I let go of the guy, and I'm able to focus on the landing because we are low enough for him not to jump. Basically, what I did is I landed on the first safe place, not necessarily an accessible place for our vehicles to retrieve the balloon, and I kicked them out of the basket on the wish that the police would get there. The police didn't arrive because we are, even though we are close to Pokhara, which is second biggest city in Nepal, we fly on a rural area close by, and the police was too far away. So I kicked the guys out, and I told my crew, let's focus on the landing, putting the balloon safely down to a place where we can retrieve the balloon and recover our guests with the passenger vehicle. And these guys just got off and started walking away. My boss tried to stop them, but they refused and left walking. So funny enough, when I was doing some investigation and talking to the agency where they booked the flight to make sure like they didn't know anything about it and like they had nothing to do with it, the guy told me that after the flight they went to the agency to ask for their money back from the flight because the flight had not been long enough and had not gone high enough. Can you believe it? I'm still like amazed by these guys. And so I have filed a report to the Civil Aviation Authorities of Nepal, also for the USPA. Yet enough, these guys keep surprising. So after I pulled up some contacts and some people contacted me from the video, from the skydiving world and the USPA environment. Turns out this guy has no license. His license was already revoked some time ago, which makes a lot of sense, by the way. Like, yeah, this guy should not have a license. And of course, like, he's trying to do some bandit jumps on the third world countries, trying to like sneak in and get away with it. So for right now, that's all I can do. I will just wait and see how the thing develops and if the USPA can take any action, and if Civil Aviation of Nepal is able to stop these guys before they actually cross the border and see if they can face some consequences here in Nepal. If I know anything else about it, I will update. You can ask me, but this may take time. All right, so let's talk about safety. What could have happened and the real risks this guy was ignoring because he didn't know, clearly. So when this happened, we were on ascent, and as you may already know, if you lose weight on a balloon, you would go up. But what happens when you're going up and you lose more weight, especially if it's like a good amount of weight, like this guy is probably like 80 or 90 kilo, you would go up faster. So if we are going up and you go up faster than that and you reach, ascent rate higher than the limit of the balloon, that what the balloon is designed for, two things can happen. One of them is that the parachute can collapse and all the hot air in the balloon can suddenly go out, or the whole balloon can collapse and the consequence is the same. All of the air inside the balloon would go out, and it would be almost impossible to recover from that, and the balloon would fall down like a rock. And as we were flying, I think it was like 5,000 or 6,000 feet over sea level, 3,000 feet over the ground, something like that, we would have very likely died, all of us. The real risk is there. Like, there has been an accident in Arizona just I think like a week or something ago, that something like that has happened. The investigation is not out yet, but there is some people that think that could be the cause, sudden loss of weight. But yeah, the risk is there. Like, I'm not even joking. This guy didn't know what he was doing, clearly. To be able to drop skydivers, you have to be on a descent rate, at least a slow descent rate if you're dropping like a small amount of people. So that's also why I started to go down very fast, in case the thing escalated and the guy wanted to jump. Another thing that could have happened, if this guy insisted on jumping and didn't know what he was doing, he could have gotten caught on some of the ropes inside the balloon, or worse, with some of the fuel hoses in the balloon, ripping them off and causing fire on the balloon or something like that. Because of course, to do these kind of jumps, you generally have to practice on land what's going to be your position, where are you jumping from. This requires a lot of preparation. By the way, jumping from a hot air balloon is safe if you do it with the correct amount of preparation. Now, the risks for the skydiver himself, he did not know the height of he wanted to jump from, because he kept asking me, but I was telling him 6,000 feet from sea level, because that's what we report to the airport in Pokhara. We report from sea level. So we were barely doing 3,000 feet, which I think it's way on the limit. And he could have killed himself, or he could have caused a double opening on his parachute. And he said he can take a 10-second delay. What he doesn't know is that he would have probably taken a higher second delay, because when you jump from a balloon, you jump from static. You don't have relative wind to open your parachute, your main, and maybe your main would have not opened before your reserve parachute opens. I'm not an expert on skydiving, but luckily I was at some event on skydiving here in Pokhara just a couple of months ago, and I got briefed on it by a couple of friends that have helped me a lot with this incident, actually. And this dude could have caused himself real injuries, also because he didn't know the ground where he was landing. Maybe he did some scouting, I don't know. But judging by how he performed the whole thing, I would have said he had no idea where he was going to jump or fall. And he had done no ground research whatsoever. He put himself at risk, he put us at risk, and he was clearly unaware. Luckily for all of us, nothing happened to him, nothing happened to me, or the passengers, or the balloon, and everybody's safe and alive, which I'm very thankful for. I had a very hard time the next few days after the incident, because of course I am a human being, and it was a lot of stress in a very limited amount of time. But of course, all of your support helped a lot getting through it, and we're still back at it and having fun with the hot air balloon here in Nepal, in Pokhara. Thank you very much.